So today we are covering a fondant cake of 3 layers, 6 inches cake, cycle shape. Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Bake with Apex. In today's video, I'll be showing you step-by-step tutorial on how to cover a portable warm butter cake with fondant. And guess what? The color will be white and red with little touch of black. So stay tuned and watch from the beginning to the end. Let's go. So these are the things we'll be using. This is butter icing. Forget the color, it's mixed with little color to give it this sea green. And this is the fondant we'll be using. These are all the tools: the trimming knife, the butter knife, the cake board, the smoother, fondant smoother, the pizza cutter, and see. So we start by trimming the excess parts of this cake. I will show you the reason why we have to trim it out. So while trimming it out, don't have to trim it excess, don't have to trim it too much, just it should be on a level range like this. So if you notice, this is chocolate and these two are vanilla. So we are done with the trimming now. The next step is to crumb coat it and use the butter icing to lay it together. So here is the butter icing, and the way we apply it, the work of this butter icing, guys, does 3 work for this cake. One is to help in joining the other 2 layers or other layers together. It works as seal to the cake. Yes, this butter icing have 3 important work to this cake. The first work is that it helps to seal, to join these 3 layers together. The second important is that after coating the cake and covering it with fondant icing, it helps to keep the cake itself soft. You can keep this cake for up to a week. It will still be soft when you cut it. Then the third important is that it adds extra sweetness to this cake after coating, after decoration. So we continue. So this is the first layer. After putting the vanilla flavor down, the next flavor I have to place is the chocolate flavor. Then I'll seal it again with butter icing. Then the last flavor too is vanilla, because we have 3 vanilla here. When you want to place the last flavor, even if it is 3 or 4 layers, the last one must not be like this. The last one, you must put it back so that here will serve as a neat and smooth shape, because this is going to be the top. You can see how smooth this back is. If you use here, it will not be as soft as it will not be as smooth as this back. The shape has already been shaped by the cake pan. That is what I mean. Now you are done laying the cakes together. You can see. You will now check the parts that needed you to fill a little bit. By men looking at it, the cake is a bit straight, but it's not all that straight. Now that is the work of the crumbs you have cut earlier. You can now use it to fill up this place, because the way I'm seeing the cake is a bit bent. Even though there is still a way you will use to notice that the cake is bent by using your plum, but at this point I will not be using it today. That will be a tutorial for another day. But for now, this is how I feel the cake using the cake crumb. That is why when you are cutting the cake crumb, it's not a waste. Don't see it as a waste, because you actually be needing it for filling later. Here is our cake. The next thing to do now is to trim the excess part to make it equal. So this is my trimming knife. You can trim in different way. You can trim like this. Although this is not a trimming tutorial, but it's part of covering of our cake. I'll personally do the trimming class another day, but you can trim in this way. You can also trim in this way. So you may watch different videos and see different trimming style. Anyone you are conversant with that you can do easily and fast, that is one you go with. Me, I can manipulate the two. You see, just trim the excess part little by little. Some people use trimming discs, which will still show you one day, but in case in a situation where you don't have trimming bits, what are you going to do? You still have to do it with free hands. So guys, you are seeing the cake crumbs that we trim out of the cake. You'll be like, it's wasting, or we just wasted some cakes. No, it's not a waste. Now, why I say it's not a waste, because by trimming this excess parts, you are making your cake to be straight, and it's going to be neat after work. And these cake crumbs that you have trimmed, you can actually eat it, can give it to the kids, or you can make a cake parfait. I don't know if any of you have eaten cake parfaits made with cake crumbs like this. So it's not actually a waste. And another thing you can do with it, you feel like here is not well filled, you can mix it with small butter icing and use it to cement this empty space. So you can see none of this is a waste. So let's go. So this is the butter icing and the cake crumbs. So this is what I mean by using it to fill up this empty space. So what I'm doing now is called crumb coating. You can see I mix it with some crumbs with butter icing. So the particular work I'm doing presently now is crumb coating the cake using butter icing and some cake crumbs to seal up the cakes together. So at this point, you can see I'm done. I've sealed the layers together using the butter icing. You can see it's now one cake. So that is one of the work of the butter icing we just used. So at this point, when you're done with the crumbs work, you clean up your space so that by the time you'll be covering with fondant, there will be no cake crumbs that will dirty your work. So this is the white fondant I'll be using. The cake will be having white background. So before working with the fondant, you have to knead it properly so that it will be soft enough for you to manipulate when rolling. So this is our cake. You might be surprised what we are doing with tape. We are not sewing cloth, we are not doing anything. Yes, but we need to have idea of the size of the cake we are covering so that we'll know the size of fondant to roll out. So first of all, you check. It's giving us 20 inches. That is the cycle body. Then the height is giving us 6 inches. So you roll 6 by 20. This is what we call vegetable shortening or crisco. It helps you to roll out your fondant properly. If you don't want to use this, you can go ahead and make use of corn flour, especially when you are working with white fondant. Corn flour is okay. So in the absence of that, you can use this. So what you have to do is just to rub it on top of your working surface like this. Place your fondant and start rolling. So the style we are covering on this cake is what we call paneling method. In paneling method, you cover the top of the cake first before the body. So this one I have here will be enough to cover the cake. You just roll it in cycle. Doesn't require measurement. You can decide to measure it if you want, but just look at the cake size of your cake and roll accordingly. So look at it. And you cover the top like this. The next thing to do, you'll be placing a cake board on it to flip it over. You rub crisco, vegetable shortening, so that it will not stick at last. Flip it over like this. Remove this particular one. The next thing to do is to cut some excess part, but not all. Remember the size, the height, the length of what you are covering, so you work towards it. So when you are done rolling it out, just smoothing it with your fondant smoother like this, and take your tape. Initially we measure the cake, so right now we're also going to measure, and our measurement then was 20 verses, or 20 by 6. And look at it, we're already having 20 here, 20 here, then 6. So this is more than 6, although we are going to cut it to 6. So don't mind if the measurement is more than the 20 and more than the 6. It's even at your own advantage, because if it's more than, you have excess parts to like trim out. But if it should not be, it should not be less than 6 and 20 or 21, because if it's less than, you find it difficult to cover and it will be work for you. So the next thing to do is to the next thing to do in covering it is to put your fondant rolling pin like this, and try to wrap it like a wrapper. There are other methods of covering your cake, so this is the method I want to use here. Start rolling it gently. See. So the next thing to do is to take your cake already coated and place, come close very well, place your fondant like this and start using this follow suit to come together. So you can see how easy it is. Yes, that is why I say it's better you have excess, so that you have enough to cut out. See the excess here, this excess, this is probably 2 inch, probably 2 inch. So the next thing to do here, make use of this. Use it to press down. You make use of your scissors now to cut out this excess part. That is the style I'm using here. Maybe in some videos or some cake artists will use different method in sealing this last side together, but make use of this smoother. That is what I'm using. Then you go ahead and cut. Coming to this top as well, you cut the excess part. This is very, very useful. So the next thing to do with it is to use it to press down this top to the down. Remember, there is the one you use to cover the top is still down. Now you are joining this up to this down so that they will seal together, because you are going to cut the excess part. And when you cut the excess part, if you are done sealing it properly, the line will not show. It will show like the cover, as in you cover everything at once without doing it differently. That is the work of this pressing it together. That is what it does. So look at it, I'm done. The next thing to do is to use your pizza cutter and cut gently, but be careful not to cut your cake. You remove, see. So you can see I've cut the excess parts. So you take my board, I'll take my board and flip it back the way it was before. And while removing this, you have to be careful You can see it's not showing any sign of placed differently. It's showing the sign of togetherness because of this way I seal it back then. So the next thing, you still have to smoothen the down part. You take it easy. Try to drag the top to the down. If you leave it like this, your cake will not be neat. It will not be as smooth or as neat or straight as it's going to be when you do this. So if you're a beginner here and you follow this procedure, you get your cake covered so easily and neat. So when you are done with this, you cut the excess part. First one, you also cut the excess part using your pizza cutter. Can you see how neat this is looking? Okay. The cake is going to be decorated with red and black. It's already white, so 3 colors together. So this is my red fondant. Before making use of fondant, you have to like knead it, make it soft so that it will be easy for you to work with. While smoothing it like this, you can add Crisco to it. I'll be applying a very simple but unique design to the cake. So this is it. So join me as I apply my design. This is water. This is water. That's what I'll be using as my glue in this design. So this black, I'll also be doing the same thing I've done with the red. I just want to use stripes of red and black for the design. This red stripe is the same thing I'll be doing with this black. So this is water I'm using. So I'm placing the black in between. You can see that the cake is already looking beautiful even when we are not done. So this excess part, I'll cut it using pizza cutter. This dirty, you can clean it up. Remember that what I'm using here is water. You can use edible gum if you wish, but this is water. So I'll place this like this. And belt on border. Call it belt on border. When you get to this place, you can cut it or your scissors. So I'll use this to make bow tie, small bow tie. The cake I'm making is for a lady. I don't know if I told you earlier. It's for a mother, a lady. So this is how to make bow tie. So this is I'll use water to seal it. Water can seal it properly, but if you are not convinced, you can put toothpick from here so that it will gum to the cake. But without toothpick, it's still okay. It can hold. So I notice this board is a bit too small for this because of the name or the write up I'll be writing. So I decided to change to a bigger, or this is size 8 inches, while this is size 10 inches. So this is the outcome of our beautiful cake. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscription button now, and also like and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Bye.